Egypt was winning 2-0 against the reigning world champions. Lionel Messi had just missed a penalty. The stadium was shaking, and then, in the 58th minute, the referee raised his hand to his ear. 4 minutes later, the goal was gone, and 30 minutes after that, so was Egypt. This is the story of the night Egypt came within touching distance of the impossible, and the 4 minutes that changed everything. On July 7th, 2026, Egypt did something that should have been the biggest underdog story of the entire World Cup. In Atlanta, in their first ever knockout match on this stage, the Pharaohs took the lead against the defending champions of the planet. And then watched their 26-year-old goalkeeper, Mostafa Shobeir, save a penalty from Lionel Messi himself. By the second half, 2-0. 32 minutes from the biggest upset of the tournament. Then, in 13 minutes, it was gone. What happened in between isn't just a bad beat. It's a sequence of calls and non-calls that Egypt's own football federation has officially gone on record refusing to accept. Their head coach accused FIFA of protecting Argentina. Former internationals called it corruption, live on air. And when you line this match up against football's history, this isn't even the first time it's happened to a team standing between FIFA and its biggest star. We're going to walk through exactly what happened, minute by minute, the call, the no call, the collapse, and then we're going to lay out the pattern that has football fans convinced this wasn't an accident. You can decide for yourself by the end. Egypt had never, not once in the country's history, won a World Cup knockout match. They'd scraped through the round of 32 on penalties against Australia. Argentina, meanwhile, walked in as defending champions, grinding through extra time in their previous game and looking, by their own admission, exhausted. Nobody expected a shock. And then, in just the 19th minute, Argentina were awarded a penalty. Lionel Messi, the man with more World Cup goals than almost anyone alive, stepped up. Shobeir dove left. The ball was in his hands. The stadium exploded. Egypt led. And for the next half hour, football fans everywhere started to believe they were about to witness history. 58th minute. Mohamed Salah slides a pass through for Mostafa Shobeir, who finishes calmly to make it 2-0. He rips off his shirt in celebration. The Egyptian bench is a wall of noise. And then the referee's assistant taps his earpiece. For almost 4 minutes, an eternity in football time, referee Francois Letixier walks to the monitor. The review: a foul by Egypt's Marwan Adia on Argentina's Lisandro Martinez, deep in Argentina's own half, way before the move that led to the goal. The goal is chalked off. Here's the detail that lit the internet on fire. This wasn't a clean, obvious call. One Fox Sports analyst said live on air that this was not even close to VAR's realm to review. A foul a full length of the pitch, away from where the goal actually happened. A former FIFA referee, on the same broadcast, disagreed and said the letter of the law technically allowed it. Sit with that for a second. Two professional experts, watching the same replay, couldn't agree on whether this call should have even been looked at. And yet, out of every marginal, arguable, could go either way moment in this tournament, this is the one that got the full 4-minute review, and this is the one that got overturned. 4 minutes of silence in a stadium full of people who had already started celebrating. Egypt still led 2-0 when it was over, but you could feel the air had changed. The team that walked back to their positions was not the same team that had just been celebrating 30 seconds earlier. 79th minute, Cristian Romero heads home, 2-1. 4 minutes later, Messi, the man Shobeir had denied from the spot, finds the net himself, 2-2. And then, deep into stoppage time, Enzo Fernandez rises above the Egyptian defense to head in the winner, 3-2. Argentina survive. In the build-up to that final goal, Egypt's players were furious, insisting Alexis McAllister had fouled Mohamed Salah just before the move began. VAR never even reviewed it. Read that again. In the same match, on the same pitch, with the same VAR booth watching, a foul, deep in the build-up to an Egyptian goal, got 4 minutes of forensic review and got the goal wiped off the board. A foul, seconds before Argentina's winning goal, with Egypt's talisman Mohamed Salah left on the ground, didn't get so much as a second look. Same referee, same match, same technology, two completely different standards. That's not frustration talking, that's a pattern you can point to on the scoreboard. What Hassan said after the match is what turned a football result into a global story. He told reporters Egypt had been beaten not just on the pitch, but by what he called external factors. And he went further, suggesting FIFA may have wanted Messi and Argentina to stay in the tournament. The Egyptian Football Association didn't stay quiet either. In an official statement the following morning, they said they cannot remain silent about the officiating, specifically criticizing both the disallowed goal and the failure to review the foul before Argentina's winner. Former Egypt striker Mido went even further on Egyptian television, accusing FIFA President Gianni Infantino directly of running football as, in his words, a purely commercial operation. Now, here's the responsible thing to say, and also the thing that makes this story more interesting, not less. Nobody has produced a memo, a phone call, or a bribe. There's no smoking gun that proves this was fixed. If you're looking for that, you won't find it here, because it doesn't exist in the public record. But that's almost never how this works. Nobody in Egypt is claiming FIFA sent a text message telling a referee what to do. The accusation, from the coach, from the federation, from former players, is something quieter and harder to prove. That when it's the champion and the biggest star on the planet, on the line, the benefit of the doubt tilts. Every time, and once you start looking for it, it's hard to unsee. This isn't the first time a disputed call has lined up suspiciously well with a global superstar's survival. In 2002, co-hosts South Korea reached the semifinals after a string of refereeing decisions against Italy and Spain that are still debated by football historians today. Decisions that, conveniently, kept a massive host nation TV audience engaged deep into the tournament. In 2009, Thierry Henry used his hand, blatantly, to set up the goal that eliminated Ireland and sent France to the 2010 World Cup. FIFA didn't order a replay. France, with its sponsors and its superstars, went to South Africa anyway. Nobody has ever proven a direct order was given in any of these moments. That's true in 2002. It's true with Henry in 2009. And it's true here. But watch the pattern again. The giant survives. The underdog absorbs the outrage, gets a sympathetic headline for a week, and the tournament moves on, with its biggest stars and its biggest TV audience still intact. 3 different decades, 3 different continents, the same shape every time. That's not a coincidence football fans are willing to accept anymore. And it's exactly why, when Hossam Hassan stood in front of the cameras and said the words external factors, almost nobody in that press room needed him to explain what he meant. Lost in all the controversy is one of the great individual performances of this World Cup. Mostafa Shobeir didn't just save Messi's penalty. He denied Alexis McAllister. He stopped Julian Alvarez. Across the tournament, he became only the 5th goalkeeper in World Cup history to save 2 separate penalties outside of a shootout. Egypt didn't lose because they were outclassed. They lost in 13 minutes after leading the world champions for over an hour on the biggest stage in football. That's the part that should never get buried under the controversy. Egypt was, for 80 minutes, genuinely the better team. Here's what we know for certain. Egypt outplayed the world champions for 80 minutes. A goal that was, at minimum, debatable, got wiped off the board in 4 excruciating minutes. A foul that could have changed the outcome never even got a second look. And the head coach of the team that got eliminated stood in front of the entire world's media and said, out loud, that he didn't fully believe what he'd just watched was fair. Maybe that's a coincidence. Maybe it's just how a flawed system happens to fall, over and over, in the champion's favor. You've seen the pattern now. 2002, Henry's hand, and Atlanta. You decide if that's a coincidence 3 times in a row.